Hello, this is Julie. So today I'd like to talk about dealing with setbacks. Oh, setbacks, I've had so many of them over the years. I don't even think I can count them on my fingers. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a series of up and downs. I've been dealing with chronic depression, general anxiety, social anxiety disorder, as well as, being morbidly obese, and now dealing with arthritis. So, yeah, all of these can turn into a setback if you let them. I think, and I've had many setbacks, I've had many obstacles, and it's hard to want to deal with them. I mean, I've been guilty of procrastinating a lot and just putting things off until, I can't anymore. And it's I got to a point where I couldn't deal with that anymore, and I had to start changing my mindset towards obstacles. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is you've got to keep in touch with your thoughts and your thought processes, and you got to dig and find out where they're coming from. And yeah, and then deal whatever the root issue is that those thoughts, especially negative thoughts, where they're really coming from, and what kind of perspective you put on your thoughts and the situations that come up. It's really important to try to keep a realistic view on whatever's happening in your life, and to try to, I found that I had to step back away from myself a little bit in order to look at things with any kind of objectivity and any kind of realism towards what's happening. Because when you're in it, it's so hard to see anything. Especially when you're a very emotional person like me. And I tend to look on the negative side of things, just from, all the bullying and the teasing and, the obesity bias that's out there. It can be really hard to see any kind of positive element in your life, but it is crucial to have that. To keep your head above water, you've got to try to see the best possible outcome, in every situation, whether it's positive or negative. That's the only way to get through to the other side. Is to try to see a bright side, or if you can't do that, at least the light at the end of the tunnel, and to know that, however hard it is, what you're going through, or however much of a challenge it is, that, all you have to do is get through it. And sometimes you have to take it 1 second at a time, but just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And that's why it's necessary, to have a routine and to be consistent about it. Because once that's set, it's something you don't have to worry about anymore. You just have to do your thing. And it helps to have a routine when you're, especially when you're feeling bad or depressed or, or anxious. It's really necessary to develop one for yourself in order to be able to sustain, and keep slogging through your life, because without it can turn into chaos really quickly. I find that, especially when I'm really emotional, I get to the point where I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to take a shower, I don't want to get dressed, I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay there and brood. And that's not a life, that's an existence. So, you really got to keep on top of your emotions. Especially now when with the pandemic and all the misinformation that's out there, and it's hard to know who's right and who's wrong, and whether they're even meaning well, and with all the conspiracy theories, and it can get very confusing. And for me, I find it a bit demoralizing because there's just so much hate along with it. So, and these are difficult times for everybody. So if you're already having depression and you're already anxious, all of that just adds on top of it. So you've really got to keep in touch with how you're feeling. And if negative emotions come up, try to root through where they're coming from, and try to get some perspective, some objective perspective and realistic perspective on whatever situation you're going through. Because otherwise, I know it myself, it can be really hard if you're just sitting in it by yourself, and there's no feedback, or there's no one telling you any different. You just fed back whatever you're feeling. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing when you're dealing with setbacks, is just to, keep your routine. However hard it is, I know it's hard. As I say, I have many days when I don't want to get up in the morning. But, it's best. Get up, you know, make sure you do whatever routine you have that's, and you need to work out a routine that works best for you and your own mental and emotional health and physical health. It's all part of the one. The health isn't just physical. It's not just about being good looking or being physically fit. It's also being emotionally, mentally, and spiritually fit as well. That's really important to keep in mind. So yeah, stick to your routine. Get outside if you can. Fresh air is great for cleaning out the cobwebs, or for getting a little bit of a break from what you're feeling. That's what I find anyway. And just, keep in touch with how you're feeling. Stay on top of it. Try not, and that's the only way you can prevent things from getting out of control and really getting into a really dark space. I know I've been there. It's no fun. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing I can tell you is, just hold on, breathe your way through it, 1 second at a time if you have to, stick to your routine, remember what you're grateful for, what blessings do you have in your life that maybe you don't even consider, that might be something to do, when you're feeling a bit down, is remember what blessings you have, and try to have some gratitude for them. And yeah, and just, stick to your guns, keep going, and you get there. You're strong, you can do it, and you're never alone. There's people out there who are likely in a similar situation. I feel very lonely and isolated at times. And, I try to remember that. That's one of the reasons I started doing this blog is, maybe somebody can benefit from what I've learned from the own, setbacks I've had, and, from my journey toward overcoming this beast that is obesity. So yeah, setbacks, stick to your routine, be grateful for what you have, and keep in touch with your emotions, and try to stay on top of them, and try to look at the best possible outcome to every situation, every obstacle or circumstance, whatever comes your way. And that helps you get through it. It really does. Okay, so that's my tip for the day. I hope you're all doing well. Take care and good night. Bye. See you tomorrow.